By this point, you should have read Chapter 11 of your book. If you have not yet read Chapter 11, stop listening to this and go read Chapter 11. Once you've returned from Chapter 11, then you want to come watch this, and we're going to talk about how you take your inspiration animal and turn it into a design for your human face. Obviously, we're limited in color because, well, we're stuck with the kits that we have, which sucks. It really does, because we've only got a certain number of colors. But we've got black, we've got white, we've got a couple different browns, we have red, we have yellow. So with a little bit of creativity, you can cover a lot of different animals that are available to you. In the book, they talk about paying attention to the proportions of the features. And the trick to inventive animal styling is figuring out how to make those proportions fit on a human face. And that's going to involve kind of ignoring the actual dimensions of your face and kind of tweaking them. There's a real temptation when doing animal makeup to just put the nose where your nose is, put the mouth where your mouth is, put the eyes where your eyes are, and just, well, make a black nose because it's a cat and add some whiskers. And there's a place for that, but that's not what I'm looking for this week. What I'm looking for is finding a way to create something that fools the eye a little bit, something that breaks the proportions of the human face. So first, we're going to look at a couple successful examples from previous classes as I go from one slide to the other. Hold on. So here we are on our first example. This one is a ferret. And if you, I'm pointing at the screen like you can see this, but if you look at the picture, the ferret face is very short and very round. And so what the student did here is she actually blacked out part of her face that wasn't part of the ferret face so that visually the face is shortened. The other thing she did, if you look at the nose, the ferret nose is much wider than a human nose. And so she took the pink of the ferret nose and drew it out. She also drew lines to indicate the muzzle, and kind of this illusory muzzle is going to be a common feature in a lot of these makeups because it kind of, again, helps fool the eye. This next example of a giraffe is also an example of a closed eye makeup. And some of your choices, some of the creatures you pick, might be best handled as a closed eye makeup. So while the ferret, the eyes lined up with the eyes and the mouth lined up with the mouth, which made it a performing makeup, this one, the eyes are actually further out than the eyes, and the mouth, the actual opening of the giraffe mouth would be underneath the chin. So the nose is situated over the mouth because the giraffe has a long, skinny sort of face. And so here you can see that, if she opens her eyes, it kind of breaks the illusion. But you can see the black eyes, which if you look at a giraffe, the eyes are way off at the side because they can actually sort of see behind themselves because prey animals. And she pulled the nose down over her mouth, and the nostrils at the top of the nose are sort of blending into her own physical nose. So this one, she's treated her face as a pretty two-dimensional sort of thing. So let's look at the next example. This third example is a cat face. It's been stylized a bit. It is performer friendly. And when I say it's performer friendly, here you can see the mouth hits the mouth, the eyes are over the eyes, which means that she can speak and perform in this makeup. There's been a certain level of stylization. The cheetah print has been simplified. which is a sensible kind of thing to do. She's also used lines to indicate the muzzle and lines to indicate the bottom of the chin, which are building up this, again, not realistic, but stylized animal face. But you can see too how wide she's made the nose through the lines and how she's dropped the cheetah nose below her natural nose so that it is shortening the distance between her nose and her upper lip, which is again altering our perception of the proportions of her face. So let's take something to make a design. This week I have decided I'm going to use Bianca as the inspiration for my animal makeup. So here I have a photo of my cat. And looking at this cat photo and looking at my face, they are not the same shape, so we're going to have to do some stuff to make it work. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to look at the face and figure out where all the features are. Here I have drawn lines over all of the features. So you can see there's the eyes, the nose, the mouth, kind of the edges of the face. Really simplified lines. The next step is I want to see how those lines fit my face. And so here you can see the lines over Bianca, and then I just put the lines over my face. Well, and I kind of played around a little bit to, figure out, well, my eyes need to be bigger, my nose has to be wider, and I need to indicate that muzzle somehow. There's a shorter chin, and there's a lot of roundness around the mouth and nose. So I've got to replicate those shapes. So here, and we're going to see more of this in the second video, talking about adding the makeup. But you can see that I drew the lines on my face, then I filled them in with a flat color, and then I went in and did details. It's a three-phase process. Lines, flat color, detail. I did screw up, you can tell. I flipped it as a mirror, so I'm actually Bianca's evil twin, go figure. But you can see that I've got a larger eye, I've got a wider nose, the nose on the lines and these, the nose actually goes below where my physical nose ends to create that short distance between the nose and the curve of the mouth. So I actually pulled the pink down onto my upper lip to create a more appropriate cat nose shape. So let's take a look at those other slides. Once again, looking at the ferret, we have shortened the face, we've done it round, we've indicated the muzzle, we've gone beyond the proportions of the nose. With the giraffe, we did a closed eye, but again, we drew the eye line, we drew the nose, we kept the proportions of the original creature. Here, we did a lot of stylization, but we are still manipulating the features just two-dimensionally, just using color to help create this nice illusion.